Hello people of this world, and especially to my nephew Mikis, who is intrigued by this thing. So I'm going to just give him a quick tour. Well done on your Equality Street music, absolutely brilliant, well done. A little tour for Mikis. Well, here you are, Mikis, in here at Coils, 16 of them. As you can see, they go around the wheel. So the only thing, there's no wires on that wheel, but what it does do, you see, there's these magnets. See these huge magnets. Let me show you if I can spin this around a bit. See that magnet there? Look, there it is. Now there's 16 of those. It's got a hole in it. It's got over 100 kilo pull, and there's 16 of them. And every time they pass that coil, they spark 1,000 volts, which we then grab it, put it into capacitors, and then it charges batteries. So basically what we're after is this thing to spin around 1,000 RPM, right? And there we are. So basically in here, which I haven't completely finished it yet, on this side there's two batteries, 270 amp hours, and on that side there's another two, but at the moment I'm running off power off there. So basically two batteries. They'll have their own inverters. See, there's an inverter there. This is the output inverter going to some lamps, because as it's charging them batteries, if I don't get rid of the excess, they'll blow up the batteries. Now, so basically, there you go. That's the batteries on that side. This is the input, and that's the output. So basically, once I end up with about 1,000 RPM, this is a permanent magnet alternator. If I can spin this 6,000 RPM, we'll get 4 kVA, constant, 24 hours. This will be connected to the wheel. At the moment I haven't finished, so I haven't got that far. Once you get to that, from there you'll have grid inverters going to your electricity board, and hopefully it'll make your clock go backwards. So basically that is it. There you go, Mikis. And very soon this should be self-sufficient in terms of taking energy from one set of batteries, charging the other two, and those two charging these two, so you have an infinite power. And that PMA, permanent magnet alternator, it's got 14 magnets in it, should give you an output of 4 kVA. That's the target. So now I'm going to give it a spin for you, Mikis, and you see it going. We'll turn some of these to keep an eye on things. Remember, that's the battery charging. This is the input, amps and volts. This is a variac, and this is the output that's being charged. That's the power I'm making into the batteries. So let's give it a spin. And there you go. That is it. Now, straight away, I'm giving it 120 volts DC. I'm using 5 amps. It's 12 coils, and there's 13.9 volts going into the batteries, and I'm making 8 amps. So I'm making 100 amps. Because it's doing too much, just going to switch on these two lamps, which will take the excess and just trickle it along. And there you go. I'm not getting enough. I'm not getting enough RPM, Mikis. You see that? About 300 RPM. We need to get it up to about 1,000. So we're now 113 volts. I'm using 5 amps, and there's 8 amps going into the battery, so I'm charging the batteries. And there's 160 watt lamps coming out of the batteries that I'm charging. So that's quite good. Now what I'll do is I'll turn this up a bit, 113 to 120. 130, 140 volts. I'm using 6 amps. I'm making 14 amps, 14 volts. I'm making 8 amps, and I'm getting 160 watts. And the RPM has gone. 370 RPM, nearly 400 RPM. So there you go, Mikis. What I'm after is 1,000 RPM from there going to the permanent magnet alternator, and that will give me a 5:1 ratio. 6,000 RPM. Now, there are, I've got 4.7k resistors on here, so I'm going to drop them, which means I'll use more power, but it will increase the RPM. So, there you go, Mikis. The everlasting energy. A little bit more work and a little bit more money, and we'll get there. Ta-ta for now.